Hello, hello, and welcome to Fine, I'll Talk About It, the podcast where we say the quiet parts out loud. Real unfiltered talk that's straight to the point and no fake positivity. I'm your host, Danielle Young, and today I'm joined by PJ Jones. PJ is a holistic trauma and grief coach, speaker, and author who guides individuals through healing, resilience, and personal empowerment rooted in lived experience. On today's episode, we are talking about building community based support networks for women and the importance of supporting each other through outreach, education, and philanthropy. PJ, welcome to Fine. I'll Talk About It.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Let's talk about you and how you got here
Okay.
and what you're up to right now.
Okay. Well, I got here from generational trauma, from a grandmother who was abused and sexually assaulted and had 13 children as a result of that, and who allowed that toxicity to trickle down and, let my mom go through the same things that she went through, which created me. And the abuse that my mom sustained trickled down into how she parented and the addictions that she picked up to cope. Um, and also being beaten by my mom, by my ex-husband, as a 14-year-old girl by the streets when I ran away from home, and the determination to never, ever, ever feel like that was what my life was supposed to be for me.
Yeah,
Even though I was told that's who I am. You are nothing, you are worthless, you are POS stuff, you know?
yeah.
And
You
that
can
is
say
what
it.
you're like. Oh, okay, piece of shit, that's who you are worthless. And to not externally, I believed it. It was just like a little, and it only takes a little spark. That was like, no, they're lying. They're pieces of shit. They're using your light to shine their path when they need to be on their own path. You need to not, and it wasn't something easy. It was decades, and I mean decades from birth. I have a scar on my neck from when I was poisoned as a 2-day-old baby by my aunt, and I was spent the first year of my life in the hospital fighting literally for my life because I died 3 times, all the way up to 2017 when my son passed away. So it wasn't something that just came. It's like I took a step forward, 3 steps back. But that determination to just keep walking, okay, I took 1 step forward, 3 steps back. That means I need to take 5 steps forward so that when I take those 3 steps back, I'll still be 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
So it was just never giving up on myself, even when I really wanted to, even when I felt like there was no other reason to fight, even when I felt like the world took everything from me. I just said no more. So that's how I started Social Resilience Journey first, which is how I met Miss Danielle. She's not only been on my podcast, she's also been one of my keynote speakers in my
Yeah.
events that I think it was the Fearless and Flourishing Women's Summit that you were a keynote speaker on, because I learned that one of the things I did wrong was feel like I could do it all by myself. I did not realize the importance of community, which is a big deal. Like, Miss Danielle is interviewing me, but I consider her a friend. I consider you a friend.
Yeah.
We've been in each other's lives. And do we speak every day? No, because I'm not a clingy person and I don't need someone to cling to me. But the love and the respect that she shows is and what I've found with other women and some men in this community is what helped me understand and realize who I am. So I created Soulful Resilience Journey to give survivors a voice through my events, my podcast. I even do a little coaching to help people understand the deal with trauma and grief. As a grieving mother, I still grieve my son. I teach that it is okay to have emotions and feelings and anger and loss, and it's okay to not be perfect, which we were taught to do. You have to be perfect people pleasers. No, you don't. And then I also created Nova Cerella. It is what Ms. Danielle was talking about. It is an organization. It's Nova Cerella Sorority Incorporated. So it is a women-led, women-founded organization that participates in mentoring programs for youth, young girls in grades 9 through 12. Because I don't, some girls are older, some are younger. As long as you're in grades 9 through 12, and in those programs, we teach leadership. We also teach wellness. We teach self love and respect. We also teach them how to become entrepreneurs if that's what you wanted to be, to follow your dreams and not be afraid to take a chance on yourself. I also will have other initiatives with Nova Cerella, which is going to be clothing drives, school supply, back to school, food, donations, anything that I could do to help the community that's underserved. Because I remember being a single mom, standing in the grocery store, wondering how I'm going to feed my kids and still pay my rent.
Yeah.
And that's what Nova Cerella is about. It's about bringing some type of relief and peace to single parents. I know we say women, and men need help too. I am a big believer in that women are the ones that step forward. My son is a single father, so I do believe that men can struggle too, but we're women. We are we're
Yeah.
gonna support the women.
Women got to stick
Um,
together.
we gotta stick together. That's why I made Nova Cerella, and because when I was in high school, I was a good student, ROTC, even through the beatings, even through the abuse. I got up every morning, went to school because my goal was to get out of her house and go to a college, go to a university. I wanted to join a sorority, but that was taken from me when I ended up meeting the predator, which is my ex-husband. And he didn't even allow me to graduate high school because he met me when I was 16 and he was 23 or 24. I don't remember, and he wouldn't even allow me to go to school. I could not go to school, so I had to sneak behind his back to even get a GED because I couldn't graduate high school. I'm like point 0.2 credits away from graduation because I was on honor roll, like I was a good student, and I felt like that dream was taken from me. And I was like, no, whatever you can't do, you can do if you just put the effort in doing it yourself. It's not easy, but it's worth it. So I did that. I created Nova Cerella, which we are officially 501c3
Yay.
certified as of last month. Was it, Danielle, that I said that I posted?
Was it last month or was it the beginning of this month?
Either end of last month, beginning of this month. I've seen that we were officially 501c3 certified, so we are officially a nonprofit organization, and I'm really going to show out now. That's I can't wait to show everyone what healing really looks like, because you guys are going to see me ugly cry too, because healing is not always this. It's
Yeah.
ugly cry, it's breaking down. So that's pretty much who I am, how I got into it. Again, it started with generational trauma, things that weren't even for me. I even wrote a book about my life. It's very, 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 it's called A Place to Belong by Perry Jasper. It is very graphic, I will say, because it talks in detail about my life and what I've gone through. It does not sugarcoat. It is very, if anyone wants to read the book and you are, it's triggering. I should have put a trigger warning with that book because there's a huge, it'll trigger someone who hasn't gone through trauma. So,
Yeah.
but that was me learning how to not be ashamed of my story. Even if no one ever reads it, I wrote it down.
Yep.
I made it something that was not inside of me anymore. I got it out. So that's kind of who I am again. And that's what I do. And I'm so proud of it. I brought my family here to Costa Rica to reset. Well, not to reset, to learn and heal. I'm learning and growing. I am going to be moving back to the United States, but that's only for Nova Cerella. I'm excited, but I'm also sad because I love it here. But
Yeah.
I have had a journey, and I'm willing to use my journey to help someone who feels like they can't, to show them, yes, you can, and not just be like, I did it, you can do it. No, what do you need for me to help you see that you could do this? So that's kind of who I am.
Yeah.
Motivator.
Yes, you are. Like, since I've known you, like, gosh, I'm like, did she ever stop?
No.
Take a breath.
No. I eat here. I eat here. I sleep here. I drink my tea here. If I could use the bathroom and shower here, I probably would.
Okay, that's going a little too far.
But no, I actually did have to learn how to, because I don't, on my weekends, I completely shut off.
Yeah.
In the beginning, that was the case with me. In the beginning, I was in front of a laptop like this until 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Now I give myself an off switch at 3:30 my time. No matter where I live, 3:30, I turn off my laptop.
Good.
I focus on my family. I get some sleep. I watch TV. I do whatever it is I want to do, because that is also a part of healing. My healing cannot only be to heal the community. I have to still heal myself. So yeah, no, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you can't give from an empty cup, right? Like,
not at all.
you can't. It's oxygen mask,
Yes.
Put it on yourself before you try to take care of everybody else. So let's talk about the courage that it took you to keep going, even though you had been through all of the shit that you went through. Where did that courage come from to just keep going and to tell yourself, like, this is what I want? Because I know somebody listening to this is going to is going to say, oh, okay, that's great for her, but I don't know how to do this, you know?
Yeah.
So, what did it take for you to wake up every morning and go to school knowing that, you were going through so much?
As a kid, what made me do it was the goal of getting out.
Yeah,
I said, "Okay, I just gotta deal with this until I'm 18 and I'm out. I'm out." And then once I met my ex-husband, um, I mean, to say that I've never, like I said, I've never tried to give up on myself. I've attempted to take my life at least twice.
yeah,
At least twice. So I did try to take the easy way out. I did try to give up on myself. It wasn't pretty. Again, it was not. I have slit my wrist. I've popped pills. The last time I tried to attempt to take my life was in 2023, I believe, and it was just too much. My current husband had to take a gun out of my hand. So I mean, I did try to give up. But what motivated me during those days, again, as a child, I was just like, okay, I just have to make it. My mom started to seriously abuse me when I was about 11 or 12 after my biological father passed away. And it was more of, I only have to be in this household for this many years and I'm out. I had a whole entire plan.
yeah,
Then when I met my ex-husband, he got me pregnant at 17. So that it was my yeah. It was my children. My children waking up saying, "I don't want them to have the life that I had." Because I didn't grow up poor. I know, people think that you grow up abused, that means you grew up in poverty. I did not. I had a very financially stable childhood. It was just the addiction and the abuse. And I didn't want my children to grow up without love. I didn't want my children to say, "Okay, well, my mom spent money on me. I had clothes. I went on vacation, but she's never said I love you to me one time in my life." I wanted them to know what I did. So my motivation for a long time was my children. When my oldest son passed away, I still had two children younger than him who lost their my daughter was only 15 years old when my son passed away. My son was 17. So I couldn't just give up. I had and I wanted to. I wanted to give up. And but I couldn't. I had to be here and present for them. And then it just started to when my kids became adults, I had to learn how to find that within myself, which is why, again, by the time 2023 came, I was ready to take my own life because it's like, well, my children are grown. They don't need me anymore. I could just escape, but they do still look at you. They do still need you. I'm still their mom.
yeah.
But that's when I decided to go through coaching and that woman, Dr. Robin, I call her Dr. Robin. I love that woman. She showed me my strength. She said, "You think you are weak, but look at everything you've gone through. How many people do you think live through this every day?
Yeah,
How many people do you feel like can just do what you do? There's something about you that you have to share with the world." That's the very first person who told me there's something about you that you have to share this with the world so that you can help others that are in your position. I've always worked in nonprofits, homeless shelters. I've always been a social worker, so I've already have that energy to help. Um, but I never figured that anybody would take any value in my story. So
yeah.
she started to work on me to find that worth of myself. And then it was basically holistic healing. Meditation and journaling is where I started. And then I started as I with this journey, I learned so many somatic, EDMR, the vagus nerve. I'm learning so much now, and I'm learning how to depend more slowly on myself. So anyone listening, I'm still learning how to hold on some days. I give myself permission to fail. I give myself permission to have setbacks because a lot of our problems is when we have a setback, we beat ourselves up even more. I'm a failure. No, you're not.
Right.
There is not
Yeah,
one business owner who's ever had a successful company that didn't fail 20 times before they made their first $1 million.
yeah,
There's not one life coach, who had to fight for 3 years to pay to keep their lights on because they weren't getting any clients. There's not one person in the world who just had it easy. Even trust fund babies whose parents made this life for them, their parents still had to make that life for them. So I had to learn that the setbacks are there. So I call it a reset. It's not even a setback, it's a reset. Something happens, reset, step back. I have to think about why is this not working? Well, maybe I need to go back to step one. Because step one is where you started and look at everything and see how you could do it differently. So that's what I had to learn.
yeah.
To look at life as a lesson and not as a punishment.
Yeah, that's a good lesson. I mean, I think for so many of us who have been through trauma, it's so easy to think that there uh, is something wrong with you and that,
Mhm.
I'm always going to fail
Yeah.
because of this. And yeah, being a business owner, it's hard.
Yes.
It is so hard. And as someone else who's been through trauma, domestic violence, like, yeah, it is a day-to-day thing to take care of yourself and to remind
Mhm.
yourself that you have made it this far. You're not a failure. I call it
Yes.
regenerating. I
Yes.
regenerate. And, it's like, okay, this didn't work. All right, let's just, we'll just regenerate into something else.
Exactly.
But it does take time to get to that point.
Mhm.
And, coming into the community part of it, like, you and I didn't have community when we were
No.
going through this.
No.
So, and it's so important for women and men too to have community when they're going through something like trauma or homelessness or,
Mhm.
some life situation. It doesn't even have to be huge. It could be, something like going through a divorce, which is kind of big.
Yes.
But, I mean, it doesn't have to be something like earth shattering or life
Yeah.
shattering.
Your boyfriend dumped you, you lost your job,
Right.
you need a friend to call, you need someone to hold you and tell you that you're not a failure.
Right. And having that community is so important. And I
Yes.
feel like so many of us are so afraid to ask for help. Like we're so afraid to, I know, and you and I are both like, yeah, hello. But I mean, we both learned though that you have to. You have to ask for help in order to receive what you need to move
Yes.
forward.
Yes. And that's because we were programmed. We were
Right.
programmed to please, not to be pleased. And when you're asking for help, then that means you're asking for someone to take care of you. And how dare you think that someone can take who told you you deserve to be taken care of type things. And
Yeah.
and that's just what it is. We have to. I mean, when my son passed away, I had nobody, nobody. I had to stay and I was alone. And I don't, if just one person would have just stood by my side the, en- through the entirety of me losing my son, I think that year would have been a lot easier for me. But I dove into work. When I lost my son, I started working 14, 15-hour days so that I didn't have to sit at home and watch my daughter cry
Yeah.
or watch my son look my other son, have this lost look in his face. So, and I didn't have anyone to teach me how to heal. And when we say community people, we mean positive.
Yeah.
I had a community when I left my ex-husband, but that community told me, go out here and go sleep with all as many guys as you need to, and let's go get drunk and go to the club every weekend to celebrate your divorce, but especially from a bad relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. Go have fun for the one time. There's no need to go party every weekend. So make sure that your community is a community that's going to uplift, not bring you down.
Yeah. That's supportive and not toxic.
Yes. Yes, because I had to learn that too. I went from trauma to trauma to trauma, not understanding why, but it's because I had to start looking at the people that I surrounded myself with. I cut off a friend that I've not known her since the 8th grade, and I haven't. Let's see, I cut her off completely about 9 years ago when I lost my son,
Mm.
because when I needed her the most, she kicked me and my kids out in the streets. When a week after my son passed away, and we
Wow.
had nowhere to go. Yeah, so you have to learn that some of the people that they stay there for you, they're not. Look at the signs. Pay attention to the things that they show you, how they treat you, how they talk to you. And that's how you know who's right for you, what community is. If they're uplifting and if they're even when you're down, they're like, no, you're better, then those are the people you might want to consider being around. So I have to put that disclosure out there that we're saying community, positive
Yes.
community. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I know, I mean, especially here I'm in Arizona and in the
Mhm.
Phoenix area, and it's really difficult here, I'm finding, to find community. So for those women or, those men out there who are like, yeah, how do I even begin to find community? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Our community online, you guys.
yeah,
I met them all online. You know, I found people who were in my same circle, trauma survivors of some sort or another. Miss Danielle's domestic violence. I have a guy who was a stroke survivor. He had 3 strokes in a row within 2 days. And he survived not being able to walk to, being able to run his own business again. Or a young girl who went to college, went to a party one time, has never done anything wrong in her life, but she was a victim of a drive-by and almost died. That trauma affected her. So I found my circle and people who are like-minded. And I mean, again, that's not easy either because even in this situation, I've had some people that I've had to let go. And I would say it would be finding your circle, let your circle find you. That's my first thing. Is let them find you because the right people will come to you. And don't be afraid to let people go who you see is not right for you. The ones that are showing you signs because we know the red flags. We've lived the red flags, especially those of us who overcome abuse. You see one thing in somebody that shows you who they are, you know that's who they are. Listen to it no matter how much of what they showed you before. 2 weeks they've been so nice, but then that one thing, even if you don't cut them off immediately, stand back and look at them a little bit. Okay, let me watch. We were fine and you called me a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's step back and see what's gonna happen next. Don't give your all of yourself because I feel like a lot of us who's gone through abuse, we want love so badly that we're willing to give ourselves to a lot of people who are nice.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy. You have to make sure in the beginning you establish your boundaries and throughout the relationship you follow through and you make sure that they honor those boundaries. And anyone who can't honor boundaries, and I'm not saying boundaries where you have to give me your check every week, but call me before you show up to my house because I've been stalked. I have really been stalked a lot in my life.
Amen.
I've been stalked in the past. So I'm not comfortable with people who are just knocking on my door. If you can please call me before you show up to my house, I would really appreciate that. If they can't do that and you come to my house 3 times in a row without not calling me first, you're someone that's not going to respect my boundaries. I might need to release you out of my circle. You can stay in the outer circle, but you will not be in the inner circle. You will not be someone I confide in. You might be someone else. Hey, how are you doing in the streets? I won't hate you. I won't badmouth you, but you are obviously someone who doesn't respect boundaries, and I can't rock with you. And
Right.
that's what I've had to learn.
Yeah. Same. And that is one of the hardest things is learning those boundaries and sticking to them. Like we can all day say like call me before you come over. But then I feel like there's so many of us who will just find an excuse to accept it. Like, oh well, they're coming to see me. I should be grateful or, gracious for them to come and see me. They're taking time out of their day, blah blah blah. And we justify it all day long. And
Exactly.
I try to like drill into people, you're teaching people how to treat you.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
this is what you're a teacher and you are the world is your classroom and you are
Yeah.
teaching people how to treat you and how to show up in your world, in your classroom.
Yes. And if they value who you are as a person, they will respect your boundaries. They will not feel like they have any reason. And even if they mess up, they will honestly and truly show you remorse and then they will do the best they can not to do that again.
Yeah.
So it's not, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with, my husband calls it orientation, but sitting down and having a conversation with someone about what you can and cannot accept. I've had to find myself telling people who didn't know my history, I'm a trauma survivor. That doesn't mean that that's how I live my life, but there are certain things I will not accept. And if you can't respect those certain things, I call it, you've heard the term, my cutoff game is strong. My cutoff game is strong. I mean, I've cut off 3 people just in the last couple of months because I cannot. And it's not, and I think about at least one of those people every day because, it was someone who I thought would be a very close friend of mine. But there were things that were being shown that let me know, okay, you've only known this person a little while. Do it, break it up while it's early, and it still hurts my feelings because I didn't want that. And we're not saying be cruel. Like on my podcast, Insights of a Survivor, I'm doing a series called Stop Apologizing. I just started season 3 last Friday. My first episode was don't stop apologizing for who you became as a result of trauma. So that was just kind of how, but my next one is going to say stop apologizing for anger. But then I would think in 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to be stop apologizing for your boundaries because we feel guilty. We feel
We do.
guilty about things that are set up. And if you're not supposed to establish boundaries, and it wouldn't be set up to do that. If you're not supposed to be angry, your body wouldn't have anger. You're not supposed to be sad. Your body's not, you would not have those emotions if that's not what it's meant to be. We just have to know how to do it in a positive, not the least toxic way, because when you're angry, sometimes things come out, but It's there for a reason. Boundaries are there for a reason, and I feel like boundaries are there to determine who you should have in your life and who you shouldn't,
Yeah.
because not everybody is gonna respect
Right.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. Well, we had to disconnect our doorbell because
Oh,
I cannot, when I hear somebody ring the doorbell, number one, my dogs have no manners. So they're loud as hell. And I'm like, all right. But that gives me the most anxiety that I have ever, because I was stalked as well by my abuser. And
yes.
people show up, ring the doorbell, and I don't expect you. Oh, hell no, I'm not answering the door. I don't even care if I know you. I am not answering the door. And I have worked so hard at this, but it is daily. I mean, it's like, and that's the other thing too. People think healing is linear, and it's like, no, it's not. You're not just going to
No,
wake up one day after meditating and be like, okay, I'm fixed. No, that is
no,
an unrealistic expectation.
and it's horrible. It's like when you work out. I've been working out for 2 months. Is my body where I want it to be? No. But is it where it was before? No.
Yeah,
Am I seeing the results? Yes. Is it gonna take another 6 months before I probably see more of what I want? Yes. And that's the same with healing. People assume that we're gonna have this one coaching session, everything's gonna be okay. No, I had a breakdown. Oh my goodness. I think it was Saturday. Friday or Saturday, I cried the whole day. And it wasn't even anything big. My son said something that hurt my feelings, but I mean, boys are going to hurt their parents' feelings all the time. That's just what they do. It wasn't the first time, but that day, and it wasn't even anything really bad,
yeah,
but that day, it just broke me down. And then I'm looking at my husband. He said something, and I'm like, "You're just so mean," and I just cried and cried and cried. And
yeah,
sometimes that's your body's way of releasing the toxic bad energy. So if your healing says today I'm gonna have a bad day, I'm gonna lay in my bed and cry today. You're gonna lay in that bed and cry. Listen to your body.
yeah,
Just don't stay in the bed.
yeah,
Give yourself a time limit. I'm only gonna allow myself to stay down for 2 days. You know, Saturday, Sunday, the weekend, whatever days you're off work or you have those days to spare, take that time and get yourself back together and try.
yeah,
That's the whole point. It's as long as you try. I get up every morning at 5 to work out. Now I might play on my phone for an hour before I start doing my workout. Before 7 o'clock, my goal is before 7 o'clock to have that workout done. And every morning, unless my back is out or my knee is out, because I'm not a teenager, you guys. You know, unless I physically cannot, whether I want to or not, I get up and do that. Because you know, everybody say, "Oh, what motivates?" There's a difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation is what gets you started, but discipline is what keeps you on that track. And that's what healing is. It's discipline. You're motivated to be a better person. But if you're not disciplined in knowing that it is okay, you're going to backslide. You're going to reset. You're going to regenerate. You're going to do, and then you just have to find your way. Stay disciplined as you can because it's not easy. It's
yeah.
not.
And it's discipline and just letting yourself just be, like don't have an agenda. I should be like this or I should be here. Like don't stop shooting yourself. Like it's okay. I'm here today. I'm going to accept where I am today and I'm just going to show up and
Yeah.
deal with myself in the best way in the most gentle way that I can today and tomorrow might be different, it might not. But
Yes.
outcome's going to be the same. I'm still going to have grace with myself and
Yes.
allow myself to heal. And that is like the biggest lesson that I've had to learn.
Yes, yes, and that is the hardest lesson to learn
Yeah.
because we are so hard on ourselves. We were taught that we were nothing. We were abused, we were kicked, and we were told we were nothing. So when we make a mistake, we take it so much harder than someone who hasn't gone through the things that we've gone through.
Yeah.
But it is okay. I've had people call me and be like, I just, I don't think I can make it today. I'm a horrible person. And I have to remind them, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're what we call a human being. And human beings were made to have good days and bad days. Human beings were made to succeed and to fail and to fail. Even the most successful person in the world that you could think of. I can't think of any right off the top of my head because but the most successful person you can think of have days where they feel like failures. And they could be billionaires and they still feel like failures. I'm going to feel like a failure. I don't care how successful I get. like I said, I have my Nova Cerella. I'm really proud of this organization because I know where it's going to be. I'm big on manifesting and speaking my reality into existence. I know what's going to be successful.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean in 5 years, when me and Danielle are looking at all of these new members that we have to teach, I'm gonna be like, Danielle, I still feel like a failure. She's gonna be like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But that's just what's gonna happen because that's what we are, and that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. That's like my motto. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to know and to remember where you come from. If to know my story, do you think I don't wake up sometimes with nightmares? You know, my husband to this day cannot walk around me. He cannot walk around me without me being like, will you sit down? Because
Mhm.
that is a trigger. Because when you walk around me, I'm getting hit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting hit. So
Yep.
there are things that are just gonna be with you that you can that you it's like a scar. It'll go away eventually. It'll fade enough to where you won't notice it, but deep down, it's gonna always be there. I have a scar on my hand right here. I've had since I was 5, but it was this big at first. Now it's a little dot, but it's still there,
Yeah.
and I have to respect that. It's gonna sometimes I'm gonna see it, and sometimes I'm gonna remember how I got that scar.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just it's working through that so you can look at the scar and you don't get triggered. And
Yes,
for me, I look at my scars and I'm like, I lived through that. I survived that and
yes,
here I am.
yes.
It's like that Elton John song, I'm still standing.
Oh, rest in peace. That's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, I love that song. I play that song all the time after I
Yes.
left my ex. I'm like, that's my song.
It needs to be a theme song somewhere because I mean, people don't understand. You get kicked in ways you never thought you could be kicked, and you're still standing. That's something in itself to be proud of. I don't care if you walk out of your relationship with no shoes, no job. You see my hair. I'm sorry I didn't comb my hair, you guys. Danielle, I feel comfortable with Danielle. um, but you're still standing. Though the fact that you're still standing. I stood my children were, my daughter was 4 when I left my ex-husband. She's 25 now.
Yay.
Just last week. Happy birthday. But he was 4 when I left him, and I didn't know what to do. I met my ex-husband when I was 16, so I was a child being trained how to belong to him. I didn't know how to do anything besides belong to him,
Yeah.
but I was just standing, and I made a way. I made a way. We are also to survive. You are a very smart person. To live in a home where someone is beating and mistreating you every day, and you know how to survive and move around this person to make sure that you don't get abused as much as you could. You had to learn how to do that. That takes a lot of smarts. It's not easy when someone says, "Why are you looking at me that way?" And it's like I didn't. And next thing you know, you're bleeding all over the place. So you have to learn how to look this, so you can learn how to function without someone telling you what you can do with your life.
Yeah.
It's just like Danielle said, it's not linear. It's very hard. It takes a lot of work, and it is very much worth it because, again, we're smiling today, but just a couple of days ago, I was bawling like a 2-year-old, and I mean, seriously, I'm crying like crocodile tears, and I had to stop and say, "What is wrong?"
Yeah.
And I had to accept the fact I think my body just had a lot of pent up that it needed to be released. So,
Yeah.
we just have to have faith in our journey, have faith in your walk because you're going to have setbacks. You are going, and this is the biggest, biggest, biggest one for those of us who've overcome domestic violence. You're going to miss your abuser.
Yep.
The first couple of months, maybe even the first year, this person is not for you. Do not feel guilty for mourning your relationship. Do not. That's life. You're going to miss this person. I really have nothing else that kind of is, that does not mean that you want them back. That
Yep.
does not mean that you want the relationship back. It just means that there are things that you miss that you think about. And it could be as simple as having someone lay next to you, a warm body laying next to you. Now you have an empty bed.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you are a failure. You're not a failure. You are human.
Right.
I miss my sister. I haven't seen her in 5 years. I miss her because that's my sister. You're gonna miss people that you have a bond with, that you formed a relationship with, no
Mhm.
matter how bad they were to you. My mom was one of my biggest abusers, and I miss her. I miss her. Sometimes I'm tempted to call her until she cusses me out, and I remember why I don't talk to her because she's still on her. She's still she's
She's
still
still
at the beginning
kicking.
of her day. She's still yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's why I don't call you. But I still have my moments where I miss my mom. Now, do I miss my ex now? No.
Yeah,
At this point, my husband hates this now. My current husband. I feel sorry for him. I
yeah,
pity him. I pity anyone that needs to beat a person down to feel good about themselves.
yeah,
So I don't hate them, but I don't miss them, So don't beat yourself down for missing the toxicness because that's what you were trained to know. That's what you were trained to feel was right. That was your normal. So that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people who were in our situations with domestic violence or any type of abuse is, and you might go back. You didn't fail. You didn't fail. You did what you felt like you knew that was best for you. You will get tired. You will leave for good one day. And when you do, you will be okay.
yeah,
Just know that. Because
yeah.
why? Because Elton John said we're still standing.
Yep. Better after all this time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go play that song now.
I really am too. As soon as we get off this meeting, I'm gonna
I
put a
sort
daughter loves that song. So
Yeah,
with that,
that was my anthem after I let that and Glory Gaynor I Will Survive. Like that
yes,
was
you know what? That's one thing that you do. Find a song
yep,
and people don't understand the power in music. Find a song that is your anthem. Yours is still standing, which that could be a lot of people's take that. If you don't have one, Elton John, I'm still standing and I will survive.
yeah.
Those two are, those are survivor anthems
Yep.
until you find something that resonates with you. But sometimes put those earphones on and let that song fuel you, fuel you. If you have children, look at their eyes and let them fuel you. If you can, if you need to look, if you are at that point in your journey where you can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I deserve better than this. I'm there now. I wasn't there 3 years ago, even. Then use it. Whatever you need to use to motivate you to keep going, keep going. Just do it. Do it. And when you step back, look at play. When you have a setback, play that song. Look at that, picture or your vision board or whatever you have that's going to motivate you. I don't have a vision board yet. I will be making one because to me, that's telling me where I will be, not what I want. And like I said, speak your manifestation into life. I don't want to own my own business. I'm going to have my own business. It may not be today or tomorrow, but it will come. I don't want to move to Costa Rica. I will move to Costa Rica. It took me 10 years to leave the country, but I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all about because I think when you speak it to the universe, then
Yes.
things start you're letting your intention known. And I
Mhm.
think that's where the magic happens. Because I did
Yes.
the same thing. Like I will not die in Indiana. Like I will
No.
not. And I left, and I've never looked back. But I mean, there's so many people that just have that trouble of just putting one foot in front of the other. And,
Yeah.
if you could just put one foot in front of the other and
Even if it's a
keep,
toe, just a
yeah,
little toe in front, just a
even if it's
toe.
just dipping a toe in somewhere, just make that little small shift. It doesn't have to be anything huge.
Yes.
Start small
Yes.
because then you're going to just completely overwhelm yourself.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah. But, moral of this story, start small, find a community that's supportive, not toxic. We don't want any
Yes.
toxicity anymore.
Please no. Please no. Because you're going to go right back to this. It might be a different person. It's going to be the same situation.
Yeah. And, we learn our lessons from the people around us because we learn how we don't want to be.
Exactly. Exactly. And that is something that that's a lot longer to learn because again, as survivors, we are also very emotional. We love hard and we want to be loved hard back. But like Danielle said, when you teach someone how to treat you, you will get what you need to come back to you. When you show people, I will not accept. And then some people, they might test your boundaries. They might test you. Can I get away with this? No, I can't. Well, if I want this person in my life, then I won't do that anymore. So yes, it's definitely not easy. So that's kind of how I made it through though. I accepted a lot of things, because one of my also also. I don't know if this is just me, but I noticed with people that I've dealt with, a lot of people who have gone through this, people attack them. It's like you have a attack me sign on your forehead. And it's like, why does everyone hate me? Stop caring. I don't care why you hate me.
Yeah.
The only thing I care about is why I'm going to stay away from you.
Yeah.
You know, we want people to love us so bad. I want to change you. You cannot change anyone but yourself. You cannot change anyone but yourself.
No.
You can
And
try.
realistically, that person that you want to change is a mirror of you. So there's
Mhm.
something that you need to change within you, and you're
Yes.
projecting it onto that other person. Like,
Yes.
and a lot of people don't want to hear that. They're like, no,
Yes.
I don't. Yeah, you have something within you that is triggering this need to change someone.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did we say that we were going to be nice in this? Sorry, you guys. We are honest, loving, but very honest
Yeah,
about what it is because we cause a lot of our own problems.
we do.
We do. And that's okay because we have to learn. That's what the community is for. A positive community who actually loves you will tell you, "Hey, I'm going to love you regardless, but I'm starting to see certain things in this situation to help you kind of evaluate and see the bigger picture because your community can see things you can't.
Right.
And if they love you and they want what's best for you, they're not going to be like, "Oh, you talked to that girl Danielle. Well, she made me mad that one time, and I don't think you should be her friend." Well, Danielle has done nothing but support me, so why should I stop talking to her? Because your energy doesn't mesh well with hers. Like you don't want those. That's that toxic stuff.
Yeah. All right. So, before we wrap up here, any final thoughts for us?
Just be confident in who you are, and that is one of the hardest things you're gonna. It sounds easy, and it's not.
Yeah.
But just be okay with failing. Be okay with not being from A to Z tomorrow. Take your time, like Danielle said, baby steps. Get up in the morning and make your bed, brush your teeth and wash your face. Start there. Start small, but don't stop no matter what.
Yeah.
Because you are worth happiness. You are worth peace. Oh, you are worth whatever joy and that you have that you desire in yourself. But you have to love yourself enough to go out and get it.
Yeah. And the freedom. You're worth the freedom.
You're definitely worth the freedom.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, PJ, for coming on. I really enjoyed
Sorry
it.
about the last time again.
That's okay. No big deal.
I had fun.
Oh. All right, thanks for hanging out with us on Fine, I'll Talk About It. If today's episode got you thinking, hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you want more real talk, more perspective shifts, and more finally someone said it moments, leave a quick review. It helps other people find the show and lets me know what you want more of. You can connect with me on Instagram at Inspired Action Wellness or my website, inspiredactionwellness.com, for more inspiration like this. We will see you in the next episode. Peace out.